Memento Mori, the Stoic practice that makes life more valuable. One day, you will do something for the last time. You will watch your final sunset. You will speak to someone you love for the last time. You will walk through a familiar doorway, hear your favorite song, or laugh with an old friend, without realizing that the moment will never happen again. This may sound depressing. But the ancient Stoics believed that remembering death was not a reason to fear life. It was a way to live more deeply. They called this practice Memento Mori, a Latin phrase meaning, remember that you must die. At first, the idea can seem dark or even morbid. Why think about death when life is already difficult enough? Why focus on an ending that none of us can avoid? Because forgetting death makes it easy to forget life. When we imagine that our time is unlimited, we postpone the things that matter. We delay difficult conversations. We remain trapped in situations we know are wrong for us. We save our appreciation for special occasions, as though ordinary days are not worthy of gratitude. Memento Mori interrupts this illusion. It reminds us that our time is limited, our relationships are temporary, and the present moment is not a rehearsal. The purpose is not to become obsessed with dying. The purpose is to become fully aware that we are alive. The illusion of unlimited time. Most people understand intellectually that life is finite. But emotionally, we often behave as if we will live forever. We say we will begin exercising next month. We will start writing the book when work becomes less demanding. We will repair the relationship when the timing feels right. We will travel, create, apologize, forgive, or finally become the person we want to be, someday. But someday is not a date on the calendar. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca observed that people are extremely protective of their money and possessions, yet surprisingly careless with their time. We become angry when someone wastes an hour of our day, but we may waste entire years on resentment, distraction, fear, and activities that mean nothing to us. Time feels abundant because we cannot see it leaving. Money disappears from an account. Sand falls through an hourglass. But life passes quietly. A morning becomes an afternoon. A year becomes a memory. One day, we look back and realize that the future we once imagined has already become the past. Memento Mori makes time visible. It asks a simple but uncomfortable question: if you knew your life was shorter than you expected, would you continue living exactly as you are living now? Would you remain angry about the same minor insult? Would you continue trying to impress people you do not respect? Would you keep postponing the work that gives your life meaning? Would you spend another evening staring at a screen while the people you love sit beside you? These questions are not meant to produce panic. They are meant to produce clarity. Death as an advisor. Imagine that you could receive advice from a perfectly honest mentor, someone who did not care about your excuses, your reputation, or your desire to remain comfortable. Death can serve as that advisor. It strips away what is unnecessary. In the presence of death, many of our daily worries appear smaller. Status loses some of its power. Embarrassment becomes less frightening. Petty arguments seem less important. The opinions of strangers begin to fade. What remains is what matters. How did you treat people? What did you create? What did you stand for? Did you live according to your values, or did you spend your life trying to satisfy the expectations of others? Did you give your attention to what you claimed to love? The Stoics did not believe that we should wait until tragedy forces us to consider these questions. They practiced considering them voluntarily. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, frequently reminded himself that both he and everyone around him would eventually disappear. He did not use this thought as an excuse for hopelessness. He used it to correct his behavior. If life is brief, there is no time for cruelty. If life is uncertain, appreciation should not be delayed. If death is unavoidable, then the challenge is not to escape it. The challenge is to live honorably before it arrives. Memento Mori and gratitude. Many people assume that awareness of death removes joy from life. In reality, it can intensify joy. Consider how you treat an ordinary object when you believe it can easily be replaced. You may ignore it, misuse it, or take it for granted. But when something is rare or irreplaceable, you pay attention. Life is irreplaceable. The people around you are irreplaceable. This particular day, with its exact combination of light, weather, thoughts, conversations, and possibilities, will never exist again. Memento Mori teaches us to see ordinary life as something rare. The cup of coffee in your hands is temporary. The sound of rain outside your window is temporary. Your parents, your friends, your partner, your children, and even the face you see in the mirror are all changing. This does not make these things meaningless. It makes them precious. A flower is beautiful partly because it does not bloom forever. A song matters because it eventually ends. A moment becomes valuable because it cannot be repeated. Impermanence is not the enemy of meaning. It is one of the sources of meaning. Without limits, there would be no urgency, no sacrifice, and perhaps no appreciation. If every experience could be repeated infinitely, why pay attention to this one? Mortality gives weight to our choices. The difference between urgency and anxiety. Remembering death does not mean rushing through life. There is a difference between urgency and anxiety. Anxiety says, there is not enough time. I must do everything. Wisdom says, there is limited time. I must choose carefully. Memento Mori is not a command to fill every second with productivity. A life can be extremely busy and still be deeply wasted. The goal is not to do more. The goal is to become more intentional about what you do. Rest can be meaningful. Silence can be meaningful. Spending an afternoon with someone you love can be more valuable than completing another task. The important question is whether you are choosing your life consciously or simply reacting to whatever demands your attention. Modern life encourages reaction. Notifications, advertisements, news, entertainment, and endless streams of information compete for our focus. We may spend hours consuming fragments of other people's lives while neglecting our own. Remembering death helps us reclaim our attention. Before giving an hour to something, ask yourself, is this worth an hour of my life? Not an hour of abstract time. An hour of your limited existence. This does not mean every action must be serious or impressive. Watching a comedy, playing a game, or doing nothing for a while may be exactly how you wish to spend that hour. But the decision should be yours. Practicing Memento Mori. Memento Mori becomes powerful when it moves from an idea into a daily practice. One simple method is to begin each morning by remembering that the day is not guaranteed. This is not a prediction that something terrible will happen. It is an acknowledgement that life has never promised us another 24 hours. Ask yourself, if today were one of the final days of my life, how would I want to behave? You may still need to go to work, answer messages, clean the house, or deal with difficult people. Memento Mori does not remove ordinary responsibilities. It changes how you carry them. Perhaps you become more patient. Perhaps you stop delaying an apology. Perhaps you notice the sky while walking to your car. Perhaps you listen when someone speaks instead of preparing your next response. A second practice is to reflect at night. Ask, if I had to live this day again, what would I do differently? Where did I waste attention? Where did I act against my values? What moment did I fail to appreciate? This reflection should not become self-punishment. The Stoic goal is improvement, not shame. You cannot recover the day that has passed, but you can allow it to teach you how to use the next one. A third practice is to imagine losing something you currently value. The Stoics sometimes used a method known as negative visualization. They considered the temporary nature of their possessions, circumstances, and relationships. Again, the purpose was not to create misery. It was to prevent familiarity from turning into indifference. Imagine that a friend you regularly see moved far away. Imagine that your child was suddenly much older. Imagine leaving the home you currently live in. Imagine that your healthy body became weaker. Then return to the present. The friend is still here. Your child is still young. You are still in this home. Your body still carries you through the day. For a moment, what seemed ordinary becomes extraordinary. Letting go of petty conflicts. Memento Mori can also transform the way we handle conflict. Think about how much life is lost to resentment. We replay conversations, invent arguments, and mentally punish people who may not even realize we are angry. Sometimes confrontation is necessary. Boundaries are necessary. Justice matters. But many conflicts are not about justice. They are about ego. We want to be recognized as correct. We want the final word. We want someone else to feel guilty so that we can feel powerful. Remembering death asks whether the conflict deserves the amount of life we are giving it. Both you and the person who offended you are temporary. One day, neither of you will be here. Does that make the disagreement meaningless? Not always. But it places the disagreement in perspective. It can help you respond with firmness without hatred, honesty without cruelty, and dignity without revenge. Life is too short to become the permanent prisoner of a temporary insult. Living before you die. Many people are not afraid of death itself. They are afraid of reaching death and realizing that they never truly lived. They fear the unlived life, the decisions made entirely from fear, the talents left unused, the love left unexpressed, and the years sacrificed to someone else's definition of success. Memento Mori confronts this fear while there is still time to act. You do not need to abandon your responsibilities or completely reinvent your life tomorrow. Meaningful change often begins quietly. Make the phone call. Write the first page. Spend an hour without your phone. Tell someone what they mean to you. Stop treating your deepest priorities as optional. You may not control how long your life will be, but you influence how honestly you inhabit it. This is the central lesson of Memento Mori: death is not merely an event waiting at the end of life. It is a boundary that gives shape to everything within it. Because life ends, your choices matter. Because people are temporary, love should be expressed. Because time cannot be recovered, attention should be protected. Because tomorrow is uncertain, today should not be treated carelessly. Remembering death does not make life less valuable. It reveals the value that was always there. So remember that you must die, not to become frightened, but to become awake. Let the thought of death remove what is false, clarify what is important, and return you to the present moment. You are alive now. And for as long as that remains true, there is still time to live deliberately, love courageously, and use this brief life well.